know who made it. You 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 know who made it.
Hello, guys. As you guys probably couldn't see off screen, Adam was doing some pantomime or some form of shit there. No idea, but welcome to Real Reds Talk. Welcome back. This is your breaking news show. Where's all my notes gone? Right, I found them. This is your breaking news show. I've got Shreyas and the surprise Adam on the show as well. How are you, Adam?
I'm doing good. Good to be back. Looking forward to getting into more shows than that, getting a bit more routine down. So it's good to be back. How are you, Nick?
I am wonderfully tired. I am. It's been a very busy day. But yeah, I'm good. I'm active, so my mind's busy, which is always best for me. Shreyas, my international co-host, how are you doing, sir?
Yeah, I'm doing very well. I could have asked you how you're doing, but that has already been answered. So
Okay. Yeah. Don't know what to do with that. Okay, right. I've started doing shows a little bit differently at
yeah,
a minute. I've started throwing some quick fire questions, and this show's going to be no different. So very
Sure.
quick lightning round kind of thing. Let's do it. So, are you ready? Ready?
Ready.
Yeah.
yeah.
Who is the most underrated player currently, in your opinion?
In world football,
Yep. Anyone you can think of. Who you think's who's really underrated, and you think I don't know, they deserve a bit more credit. I'll give you. I'll take time to think.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. Whilst you guys are thinking, this is a breaking news show. It's not just a questionnaire. We're going to get into all the news surrounding Manchester United. Hit that subscribe button and like the video as well if you haven't already. We're going to do a quick fire round between Adam and Shreyas. As soon as we finish that, we'll dive into all the stories and all the stuff surrounding United. So don't worry about that.
I have one
Got
that
anyone?
kind of comes to my head. A lot of people seem to give credit to Kevin De Bruyne, but Bernardo Silva, I think, is an absolute amazing player. Like, and if he was, like, say, I know, say if you put him into an Arsenal team, he'd pop up with a lot more assists. He'd be their star man in their
Oh,
team.
yeah,
Like, I know
100%.
Barcelona are interested in him. I'd say him. That's one name that pops to my head anyway.
You don't think he's appreciated as much as he should be, Bernardo
Exactly.
Silva? Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I have to agree with that. Shreyas, anyone in mind?
I think.
Oh,
I mean, I don't know if you can say this person is underrated, but I would say Goretzka. The only reason being that I've seen a lot of people, like comparing the best central midfielders over the past 5 to 6 years, and I've seen that just because some players play in the Premier League and some players play in Serie A, they get more, I would say, advantage over players who play in the Bundesliga. Even though I would say they are, I would say, almost at the same level as them when it just comes to their footballing ability. So I think Goretzka in Bayern, he's basically a tank in that central midfield and could easily walk into any of the teams right now. Even when it comes to the Prem or even when it comes to the top teams in La Liga. So for me, it would be Goretzka.
yeah, Goretzka's a monster. I'd take him to United every day of the week. I
Yeah.
remember when he wanted a contract bump on his wages last season.
Yeah.
We got linked with him. As soon as he was buying, was like ding 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 ding, chucked money at him, and he's just like, yeah. As so many players do that with Manchester United, don't they?
Yeah.
I'll throw mine in there. I think someone like a Barella for Inter Milan.
Yeah.
He's really underrated. I thought he looked great for Italy, and every time I've watched him, he's looked absolutely class. Looks like a really good midfielder. So I'd throw Barella in the mix. Next question: De Jong or Casemiro? You've got to remove one.
Remove De Jong.
Yeah. Ooh.
To be fair, I'd probably remove De Jong too. When you look at
Yeah.
what Real Madrid have done in the last 5, 6 years, and Casemiro has been, as Ten Hag kind of put it, cement between the stones for them.
I love that. I loved it when he phrased
Yeah.
it like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Perfect.
So I definitely Casemiro for me.
Okay, both Casemiro. Start, sell, bench, Rashford, Martial, Sancho.
I'd probably sell Rashford. Start Sancho, bench Martial.
Okay, Shreyas?
Yeah, I'd go with the same pattern.
Agree with that, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. If you had to get rid of one player permanently, not a United player, so I know you're already thinking of Maguire, both of you. If you had to get rid of one player permanently who you don't like, who would you get rid of?
I mean,
Jordan
just
Henderson.
like put him in,
Who'd you say
put him
then?
in a cannon.
Yeah, do whatever you want with him. They just get rid of him. They don't play professional
Yeah.
football anymore. You can just
Luis Suarez.
Luis Suarez.
No
Okay.
hesitation. Just put him in a can and shoot him out of it.
Yeah. Shreyas?
I went with Henderson, Jordan Henderson.
Jordan Henderson. I don't like him
Yeah.
either. You know.
I don't like him. Yeah.
You know he does a post-match interview. I just feel like that's what smash your
Yeah.
face in.
I think he's just, he's one of those players whose existence just makes my blood levels rise.
Yeah,
Like you just see his face. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Invincibles or Mourinho's Chelsea?
Oh, that's a tough one because that
Tough one, yeah.
Mourinho team is something else over the course of those 2 years.
You got to look at the Invincibles obviously hold the record for going unbeaten, but Mourinho's defensive record, like the clean sheets and stuff, were phenomenal.
Mm-hmm. And they also had up for a while. They had the record for the highest points tally too, didn't they?
Yeah.
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 Highest points as well as least number of losses in a calendar year as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm going to go with the team that didn't draw their way to the title. So Mourinho's.
I had a feeling you might go for that. Did you agree with that, Shreyas, or different opinion?
Yeah, I'd go with Mourinho's.
I think you've agreed on everything there, but pretty much.
Yeah.
To be fair. All right, fair enough. You've absolutely smashed that.
I think when it comes to the Invincibles, I'd basically, like you throw in Mourinho's Chelsea into the mix, you throw our treble-winning squad into the mix, and then you see Liverpool trying to pull their squad into the mix, and I just say that Liverpool tried to claim that this is their golden era, like this, this is the era where they practically dominated European football. And in this golden era, which has been like 3 to 4 seasons, they've just got one Champions League, one Premier League, and just FA Cup and a Carabao Cup. That's all they've got.
Which they won on penalties as well.
Exactly.
Both.
Yeah.
And I
And
mean,
we
they're
basically
pretty
done
much.
that in one season.
Yeah.
From 99.
Exactly.
There you go.
Yeah. Where was we at then? Was it anything else to add on that before I head into the transfer news?
Yeah. What is your opinion on it?
On the Chelsea and thing,
Yeah.
I've got to say, if I put all the United teams aside, that Jose Mourinho's Chelsea team, I was a massive, massive fan of. I love players like SCN. I think SCN, there's another one we talked about underrated players before.
Yeah.
SCN was fucking quality, absolutely quality. I would love him in someone like that in our midfield right now. And he had a rocket when he let off.
Yeah.
Do you remember that goal he scored? Like,
Yeah.
and I know Chelsea are known for kind of just going cherry picking the best players from teams, and like they've gone and stole players like Ashley Cole from New Arsenal, not giving a fuck, just like we'll give him double wages, we'll pay extra, and they've kind of had that model for a while, at least whilst Abramovich was there. But that Mourinho team, like I liked a lot of players in there. You talk about Makalele and players like that as well, like unreal, absolutely unreal.
There is one underrated player that popped into my head there, Perez. I thought was really, really underrated.
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, fits in with the theme as well.
Sam in the chat is saying Robbie Savage.
Underrated or not? Is that your underrated or is that your you want to fire in a cannon? I imagine it's probably the latter, isn't it?
Was he ever rated?
Yeah. I hope it's the one you want to fire out of a cannon anyway, not the underrated one. Jesus.
Actually, you can add someone like Bruno Guimaraes in when you have to, say underrated players in world European football right now. I think Bruno Guimaraes is another one of them.
I remember putting in the chat when he moved for 40 mil. Like, why have United not sniffed around that deal? Made no sense whatsoever. But yeah, we're talking about transfers. Let's get into it, lads. I want to start off with the Eric Bailly deal, and this is coming up from Fabrizio Romano. It says Eric Bailly deal completed, and here we go, confirmed. Being told Bailly will be at Carrington later to say goodbye to his teammates. Then he will fly to Marseille within the next 24 hours in order to join. There's been rumours of figures. The obligation to buy is 7 million euros, but there's a mandatory clause in it that they have to qualify for the Champions League.
Yeah.
Then if they do, then they'll buy. Like it just seems like a really stupid thing. But yeah, we've sent him out on loan. I don't think we're paying his wages, which as United fans at the minute is probably a plus because every player we seem to send out on loan, we end up paying his wages. But the question I want to pose to you, Adam, is how have we not managed to get money for someone like Eric Bailly? Because every time he's performed, especially of late in the past year, I'd probably say, he's looked really good. And then that obligation to buy 7 million euros, like that is, we sold Pereira for like 12 mil. And Bailly, in terms of levels in his position, is far better. So it doesn't make sense to me that.
No, it doesn't make sense. And he's still relatively young for a centre back because you can get like another, I would say 5 seasons say out of him, but like we know his injury record, so it
Yeah.
could be half of that. Let's be honest. But yeah, 7 million is very, very cheap. And especially, what if he goes on to be their Player of the Year now? Like,
He
that's the
probably
thing.
if you was to, obviously he hasn't joined or anything just yet, like fully, but if you was to predict it, Eric Bailly at Marseille in the Farmers League
Hmm.
is probably going to do well in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's gonna have to kind of, get that fan base on his side because they're a very, very rough fan base.
Marseille
People,
are.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah, yeah. Yeah, they are.
very, very rough. Yeah, I mean it's a nice kind of looking place, but the city is very, very rough.
Are they like
Um,
the Millwall of France then? Is that what you're saying?
Pretty much, yeah, yeah. We have it in Ireland, a place called Limerick called Stab City. That's Stab City in
Jesus.
France. But
Wow.
yeah, get them on his side because they will abuse their own players. So he's going there. He'll get a bit of sun anyway, so
Yeah.
he'll be
Yeah.
happy in that sense. But he could go on and become their Player of the Year, and then they could qualify for the Champions League, and then they're getting an absolute steal for 8 million. Like, what happens there then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just getting our pants put down again.
And they've obviously Eric Bailly naturally his personality is a warrior, innit? So the fans will
Yeah.
probably love him to be fair because he gets stuck in. So it could be a good signing for him. They've obviously got a few. Well, they've got a few Premier League players. They've got Payet there as well, haven't they? Who plays
Mhm.
for him? So they've got
Yeah.
experience in that squad. So I think they'll do well. To be fair, bringing Bailly in, it's a good signing. Would you have kept him maybe Streyaz and maybe sold maybe a Lindelof or Maguire to Chelsea instead? Or do you think it's the
I would
right
have
move?
definitely sold Maguire to Chelsea. I mean, I
Yeah.
would have
Apparently
terminated
we
his
blocked that,
contract and
by
made
the
him go
way.
on a free.
I don't know if you saw that. Apparently we blocked
Yeah.
the move to sell him.
Yeah, which I don't really get because if we even get 5 million for Harry Maguire, it's a big, big deal for us. Very, very big deal.
Yeah.
And if you have to, once again, if you have to compare Harry Maguire and Eric Bailly basically, trumps him in every single aspect, especially while playing in a Ten Hag system. I think having Bailly in a Ten Hag system while playing a high line would be much more effective rather than playing Harry Maguire in a back four under a Ten Hag system. Plus, letting him go for 7 million is not I would say wise decision because
Ridiculous price.
yeah,
Ridiculous
because
price.
I think we could easily let him go if we if we want to let him go, we could easily make that price around at least around 15 million because even though he has not had the best record when it comes to his fitness, we all know that when he's fit, he's going to be rock solid at the back, and he in one way or another he has pretty much proven himself in the PL. And when you have to move to the French league from the Premier League, you could at least get at least 12 to 15 million for that player. And
Yeah.
we've got people in the chat. Hello guys, great performance yesterday. He could easily go for 15 million. Our back four was fire. Have you seen Gakpo and Casemiro kind of look similar? We need to buy Gakpo so that we can confuse opponents.
I put Dan into the mix as well because it's like Casemiro's brother. You can just have everyone like, whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Gakpo, from what I've seen, is very lanky. He's like 6'2", a bit dangler in his demeanour. In terms of looks wise, I have no idea. But yeah, going back to the comment that said about the back line, I was literally just about to mention that then. Varane and Lisandro last night, that was evidence. We've been talking about Maguire being dropped for so long. Ten Hag
Yeah.
finally does it last night, and then look at the results that you get. Lisandro and Varane were fucking awesome last night. Like, I was super impressed with them two. Two of the best players on the pitch, including Malacia. So long may that continue, and hopefully they start against Southampton. I don't want to see no news leaking out before the game that Varane's got a knee injury again, and just like, fucking hell. And then you got to reset and bring an unhappy Maguire back into it. I mean, a happy Maguire's is as bad as it is.
He's just Maguire at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
I say it's like bed sheets. Bed sheets with Purcell make a good mix. That's your Varane and your Martinez. But then you have bed sheets and shit stains. So it's like Maguire, Martinez. It doesn't mix well.
Yeah, and you know the ironic thing is about that. That is, what you just described Maguire as is not a clean sheet.
There we go.
Do you know what I mean? We're creative. We
Like
don't just bring creativity here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a real red star. Love it. Now I wanna get into another story as well. This is regarding Frenkie de Jong. I'm sure Sam's going to be screaming from the rooftops when he hears that name. So a few updates on this player, guys. Justin, Eric Ten Hag as well as the United board, have made the decision to make a new offensive for Frenkie de Jong. And then Plenty Goal have put out as well that de Jong will not join Bayern Munich. So Bayern Munich's completely ruled out of the run. A lot of people talking Bayern, Chelsea, and United. So it just seems like it's Chelsea or United at the minute. The saga of the summer, Shreyas. Give us your opinion on this one. How you see it?
Just before I give my opinion, a few more comments in.
Yeah.
Keep buy and please sell Maguire to Chelsea or better to somewhere I don't know where, but we need to definitely sell him and AWB ASAP. And just imagine Casemiro with De Jong.
Oh, it'd be beautiful. Casemiro, De Jong, and Eriksen. Like that for me is world-class midfield.
We said Phil Jones is going under the radar as well. Like the forgotten man.
You cannot go a show without mentioning him, can you? You can't do it. We're gonna have to get like a Phil Jones jar and just put a quid in it every time Adam mentions him.
I mean, we totally, forgot about taking Phil Jones into the conversation when we were thinking about if Varane gets injured, who will be the centre back who will be coming in.
I mean, at this point, I'd rather start Phil Jones than Maguire. I think Maguire needs to be dropped for a while, to be honest, and really sit on it and think about it and look until he improves his performances. You're staying on the bench, at least in my view, you are anyway. Slightly off track there. Bring it back to Frenkie de Jong if you can, Treyas. Talk to me about this saga.
I mean, you are pretty much the only one who actually believes that he'll still be coming in the first place. I still think that, we probably might still be able to get Antony, but we won't be getting De Jong. I think the worst part of this entire saga is that we have to deal with Barcelona because the way they're, manipulating their funds, the way they're actually raising funds as well, I don't really understand how they're, working about with it, but I really, really don't. I mean, it's been how many months? 3 months? 3.5 months that we've been linked with De Jong now?
It's about 3 months. It's got to be 14, 15 weeks now, at least.
Yeah. Because he was the first name that Ten Hag actually, placed as a transfer that he actually wanted the moment he came in, because he wanted a box-to-box midfielder. And look, I would just say if we are able to pull it off, it would be a very, very amazing deal. And I would say our midfield could, possibly be matching to that of Manchester City's if we actually, get De Jong in, because then Casemiro, De Jong, Eriksen, Donny, and Bruno, 3 alternatives to actually play in a singular position, and they're versatile enough to play as a box-to-box, or, if we are actually, using Casemiro, you can actually function with 2 8s as well. So if De Jong comes in, we have more alternatives, we have more depth as well in that lineup, but I think now it's just comes down to how long Frenkie de Jong himself wants to continue this. Because if he wants, he can, right now he can actually, just quit about all his wages and actually just accept the deal and move on. But he's stuck on his, statement that he wants his wages. He isn't moving about without getting his 17 million from Laporta. And I just think that I think in the next 3 days, it will be crystal clear whether he's coming or not. If after this, if after 3 days, it will be still in a position where we're negotiating, I don't think he'll come, because it would be a big problem for us to actually, incorporate De Jong into the squad if he comes after 3 days, because then we are already in a, even though we won against Liverpool, we're still in a big pressure situation in the, in the table. We've got Southampton coming up as well, which is not going to be an easy game in any level. So I think in the next 3 days, all our transfers, whether it's Gakpo, whether it's Antony, whether it's De Jong, in the next 3 days, it will be clear whether they're coming or not.
Yeah, it's going to be busy as fuck, innit? And I like the thing you said about it's got to be draining. Obviously, it's draining for us as fans when you're constantly hearing, a new story every single week. But for De Jong now, he's got to be like, mate, can you just give him a 17 million so I can fuck off, please? Because I think they've got like 8 days or something now to sign Jules Koundé. They still haven't registered him. And if they don't do that, then they're basically fucked. So they need to get these kind of players out. I know they're going to release Depay as well. Aubameyang's in talks with Chelsea, so that'll free up the way for a little
on
bit
that
more.
as well. Depay's contract with Juventus broke down as well. So
oh, was it?
It has broken down. The conversation with Depay and Juventus is broken down. So right now, the only conversation that has actually, gotten into a good place is Aubameyang and Chelsea. That's the only deal they've been able to pull off. Other than that, every single contract negotiation has completely broken down. So it's a panic situation over there.
Just on that, Adam, I suppose the positive news then is the fact that this will actually, in one way or another, we'll definitely know in just over a week's time whether De Jong is going to stay at Barcelona or go. We won't hear another story about it at least until January. Maybe it'll become the next kind of Sancho saga where we obviously chased him, didn't we? It was so close you could barely touch it. Thumbnails, fucking nose hairs, so close, and then it was like no. A year later, do you see it going that way? Is that what's going on in your head right now, or do you see it playing out different?
Right now, I couldn't care less what happens. I'm at that point. I'm emotionally and mentally drained with the whole saga going on all summer. Every time it's like, okay, it's going to be done. Another hurdle pops up, and we start tripping over that. Then it's not even our fault. Like as a club, like not even in the negotiations. I blame our slow kind of transfer strategy over the summer down to this one deal because they focused on this one deal and little did they know all these things would pop up. How I see it planning out, I think we're going to do a final push over the next coming days because he is our main target. Barcelona might crack and they might just accept and pay the wages because if they don't get these players out, they can't, as you said, they can't register their new signing, Koundé. And how much did they sign him for? Was it like 50 million? 50, 60 million?
I think it's about 60 million, something like that.
Yeah.
Heavy price.
So that's just it's like I know I like to refer to it a lot, but it's like the Joker throwing the match, I think it was, on top of all the money. That's what it's like.
Gasoline.
Just setting it, the gasoline onto all the money. But we'll see now. How long's left? 7 days, is it?
10 days? Just over 7 days. I think it shuts on the 2nd of September, maybe something like that. So just over a week, I think.
Like, can you imagine what deadline day is going to be like for us?
Yeah. Maybe a Gallo make a return. Who knows at this point? You know, you really don't know, do you? United, like it's like
Savic on the final day, or anyone can actually pop up.
But yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. Genuinely, it would not surprise me in the slightest. Like this, it's like they've purposely waited until the end of the window so they get all the clout surrounding transfers, and they're going to make all the big headlines because all the rest of the clubs they've done their business early. So United are like, what we'll do is we'll wait until the very end. We'll drive the social media traffic up, and then right at the end it'll be like, sign this guy, sign this guy, sign this guy, sign this guy. Wouldn't put it past United. I've used this analogy before, but on this De Jong deal, I will happily go down like the man with the violin on the Titanic. I will be that one guy playing the De Jong tune. I'll ride it out. So I fully believe he's still coming. I'm just going to put my case out there. Shreyas, you touched on before the midfield, how good it could potentially be. But a question for both of you is, where would you rank a midfield of Casemiro, De Jong, and Eriksen amongst kind of elite teams in Europe?
Before I get on that, couple of comments. Guys, Jones will only leave when the Glazers leave. Don't worry, he's like an Indian government job. Ugly Bear saying, if we sign De Jong and Casemiro, then that means Bruno would be dropped. Sam saying, please stop with the De Jong talk. He ain't coming. And he needs to come to United for his future, at least for Ten Hag. Anthony's saying, nice work, guys. Thank you. Barcelona just don't understand how bad they are treating their players.
Yeah, that's how it is. They've been the villains of this transfer window, haven't they? When you look back at like all the deals they're doing and how they're treating the players, they're expecting PK and Busquets, legends of the club, to drop the wage salary completely. They're basically playing for free. Asking De Jong to drop his wages when they promised him a certain amount per week. They owe him 17 million. If he stays for his contract over the next 5 years, they're paying out 120 million just to De Jong alone. So, but then they're signing Lewandowski, signing Koundé, Rafinha, all these guys. It's just, in a sense, it's weird because I really like Barcelona as a club. Sorry, and how they played, and you look at the legends they've had, the managers they've had, everything. It's a beautiful, beautiful club, and it's a beautiful place. But the way it's being run is being run like a stupid business. That's the way it's being run. So I hope they get demoted and it makes them realise there's some kind of. I hope they get some points taken off them or some kind of shit, because the way they're doing it at the minute, it's not fair on other clubs. Everyone's just like, how the fuck are they spending money? Where are they getting it from? Like even managers coming out saying it, we don't know where they're getting the money from. It's absolutely mental. But yeah, where did we get onto the where you'd rank a midfield? Casemiro, De Jong, Eriksen?
I think with Casemiro, De Jong, Eriksen, I think it would be better than Chelsea's midfield. It would easily be better than Tottenham or Arsenal's. I think you can easily compare this midfield with Manchester City easily, because
there's a top four kind of midfield. You're saying
top two. not
Okay.
top 4, top 2.
Better than
Because
Liverpool for me.
yeah, better than Liverpool, because you've got Casemiro, who's pretty much the best CDM right now when you look
Better than
at Europe.
Fabinho? Better than Rodri?
I mean, he's got the Champions League, so just got the
Right.
Champions League, won it against him as well. Won it against him as well. Won it
Yeah.
against him as well. So
Good point.
yeah, I think he's better than Fabinho. I think he right now, I would say he at the moment he's better than Rodri as well. If you have to look at Casemiro and the kind of momentum and the kind of legacy he's leaving behind at Real Madrid and coming from, I think he definitely is better than Rodri. And when you have to look at the box at the central midfielder like the number 8, you've got Frenkie de Jong, who I would say hasn't able to reach his true potential at Barcelona, but we all know the kind of talent he actually has. He needs the right manager to actually work under. And I think Ten Hag is the one who actually, made him world class.
He's the
And
guy to unlock his
exactly.
full potential.
So if he comes back, and especially, playing alongside someone like a Casemiro who's going to provide you basically all the defensive cover you ever need, I think De Jong would be a very, very incredible signing for us in that central midfielder position. And then with Eriksen, we've seen how good Eriksen is. And I would say basically, I think in the first 3 games, he's been our most consistent player. He's been by far the most intelligent player as well. The reason for Jadon Sancho scoring that goal yesterday was Eriksen, because he didn't go in for the shoot. He went in for the extra pass to Elanga, who chucked it onto Sancho, and then he went for the goal. And I think right now he's very, very instrumental to Ten Hag's plan as well. He can work as a box-to-box midfielder. He can actually work off the wing. He's been played as a false 9, and he's been played as a number 10 as well in the first 3 games itself. So
nearly bagged the free kick as well, didn't he?
Exactly.
Very close to bagging the free kick.
Yeah. And I think he's just proven that he's going to provide us with quality no matter where he plays on the pitch. So for me, I think it is definitely up in contention with the top 2 in the Premier League.
Adam, would you agree with that statement? Where would you rank him amongst midfielders?
Yeah, I completely agree with it. I think top 2, you'd say, is better than City's. We don't know if it was put together. It could be. We're saying how Erik ten Hag got the best out of Frenkie de Jong. He'll probably get the best out of him in his prime years too, coming up. If they reunited, Casemiro, I'd like to just call him Thanos, our midfield destroyer, with the Infinity Gauntlet, 5 Champions Leagues.
I like it.
Absolute destroyer. You're thinking how many midfields would be better in Europe then? Maybe Bayern Munich, PSG.
I'm not even sure about PSG because they're lacking consistency in their midfield. Verratti's a very good player, but he's injured quite a lot. Garner Gay is like more of a destroyer, more of a Casemiro player, but he's getting pushing like 32, 33, I think. And I think he's actually re-signing for Everton or re-signing for a club in the Premier League. So, yeah, I would say, apart from Bayern Munich, who have a very good, like the balance in that midfield with Goretzka, Kimmich, these kind of guys is unreal. You got City, you got De Bruyne, Rodri, and whoever wants to slot in there, take your pick, Bernardo Silva, Foden, whatever. Yeah, them kind of, I don't think it'll be near that, but I think anywhere else it'll easily compete with, in my personal opinion. So we're all in agreement on that. I want to move the conversation on a little bit into Cody Gakpo. Van Nistelrooy has been speaking on him for PSV Eindhoven. Of course, he's the manager there now. He says there's a lot of rumours since a long time. I don't know why he's put it like that. It's clear we'd love to keep Gakpo here at PSV. He's never changed his attitude in training. After the rumours, that's so good for a young player. But apparently, we've already agreed personal terms. Everything's agreed with Gakpo because he's got the same agent as Erik ten Hag. I don't know if any of you knew that. Yeah. So it's a very easy deal to do. They've already spoken to him. Personal terms have agreed. I just don't know what they're waiting on. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're waiting to see if Ronaldo leaves or if Anthony comes in. And that was going to be the first question for you, Adam. Do you think it's going to be kind of a reserved option maybe? Or do you think we're going to get both, like an Anthony and Gakpo?
I personally take both because I think we need the options. We're very light there. You're looking at who's our backup on the left. It's Garnacho off the bench, and he just isn't ready to take that. Well, you can play him the odd time here and there, but it's such a big step to play and competing like a top six teams forward line. So I personally take the two of them. Waiting, it's probably to see what's the story with Anthony. I have a feeling I think we need both.
Yeah.
If Ronaldo does leave, it clears a massive chunk off the wage bill too. People have to remember as well. So his wages will do two players as well.
Yeah.
So could it
Yeah.
be something like that? And I think we have a forward line that are very, very flexible that can play anywhere along the front line. A good few players can. So I think we're in a good spot if we brought the two of them in.
Yeah. And Gakpo can play up top as well. He can play on the
Yeah.
left-hand side, can play up top. I think obviously Rashford played up top last night. So,
Mhm.
yeah, they're extremely versatile, aren't
You said
they?
he's tall too.
Yeah,
And I actually never knew he was that tall.
Yeah, he's about 6'2", I believe. Looks very gangly. The only thing about him is his physicality. When I was doing that scout report on him, he had a lot of pluses. Like especially he got 12 goals and 12 assists, I think, in 27 games. So we had 24 goal involvements, 27 games, which is actually a far better record than Antony. And Gakpo's available for 35 million. Antony, we're looking at buying for 85 million euro, like plus add-ons, whatever it is. I think that price alone is ridiculous for Antony because you look at journalists around Ajax, they all said Lissandro when we bought him, so we got him for 50 odd million or whatever, he was their player of the year or the players player of the year, something along the lines. Antony wasn't even like mentioned in that conversation with them. He's not been at like even Ziyech when he was there apparently was more outstanding in that team than an Antony. So they can't wrap their head around the fact that we're paying 85 million for him. What are your thoughts on that, Shreyas, and what are your thoughts on Gakpo as a player in general? I'm not seeing if you've seen much of him. I'm not sure if you've seen much of
Yeah.
him. Sorry.
Once again, just reading a few comments. We've got 32 people in the chat, so please make sure to subscribe to the channel as well. We are very near to 450. Let Nick drink once again.
Yes.
We are on 441 right now, so please make sure to smash that subscribe button. Anthony and if it comes to Anthony and Gakpo, I will go for Gakpo. Less money, more into a left wing as well. Remaining money, we can buy a centre back or a right back. Next season, we can get both Anthony and De Jong. Anthony is not 100 million, please. We need a challenger for Rashford in left wing, which could be Gakpo. Let's forget about De Jong for now. The best two players United needs right now are Gakpo and Dest. Okay, Casemiro is top 2 or 3 central defensive midfielders in the world right now, alongside Kimmich and Verratti. And then we've got Dan asking to subscribe to the channel. Sam asking about when we were having that midfield conversation about Madrid. Having one of the best midfields in the world right now, and never really seen Gakpo, but seriously, is he better than Ahmad, Pellistri, Chong? This feels like another Ahmad signing.
No,
How much would you rate?
Sorry, let me just go back very quickly. Just on that one comment.
Definitely.
He's got 12 goals, 12 assists in the Eredivisie. Like Chong, with all due respect, has been on loan to Birmingham City and got 3 goals and 1 assist or whatever. Ahmad's still developing. You all know I'm a massive fan of Ahmad, but he's still raw. He still needs like a lot of work. You got Gakpo, who's an established player who's been playing in the Champions League as well. So yeah, I wouldn't compare them, to be honest.
Yeah. How much would you rate this transfer window now that we have the top CDM?
What? So if we just keep the players we've got now, so you're talking Eriksen?
Yeah, no other person, just with Casemiro.
Eriksen, Malacia, Lissandro, and Casemiro. It's good, but it's not enough. That's how I describe it. We need more.
I'd probably give it a 7 out of 10 because we let go of a lot of midfielders. We need to sign another one, and I think that signing will be Frenkie de Jong, and then that would bump it up to the 8 out of 10 then. I think the closest we'll get if we signed, like, I know there's a lot of talk, we'll probably get into it, Kevin Trapp, Jan Sommer, Dest too, there was a little bit of talk there, here and there, but if we were to sign those other positions with Frenkie de Jong, I know it's been very, very, like, I'm in dreamland here. That's how you get your 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10.
Well, we're 100% signing the keeper. Romano said that, so you can 100% that's happening. A right back is apparently happening as well. I've heard that there's another midfielder and an attacker. How many attackers if we sign Gakpo and Antony? I'm not entirely sure, but there's a reason why Ralph said we need 10 players. He weren't joking when he said it. It was being like very serious. And isn't it funny now how we're like buying 7 players or whatever, probably by the end of the window. He was right. Wow. As if he was
Sharp,
like,
as
yeah,
if we all know.
yeah, ridiculous. Yeah, Gakpo as a player, Shreyas, have you seen much of him?
Yeah, I have, and I would say he is a raw player. He's one player who still needs to be refined and made into a finished product. But considering I don't really see him as one of those players like Elanga, Ahmad, or Pelistri, the only reason being that the situation Ten Hag is under right now, and the kind of alternatives he has, if he had to bring in someone who's probably going to do the same role as Ahmad or Pelistri, he wouldn't really waste 34 to 35 million on a player. He definitely wouldn't. He would rather invest
Exactly.
it somewhere else, probably get a right back in for that money. So I do think that Ten Hag definitely has some contacts with the player, of course, because their agent is same. But he probably sees something in him that uh, that we might not be seeing in that player up till now. And one of the biggest reasons is that, like you mentioned, he's versatile enough to play in 3 attacking positions. And right now, considering that we are so late into the transfer window and we haven't really got a star-studded striker out there in the window, we could actually make use of players like Gakpo, who can actually function as a false nine, or could actually do a job as a striker as well. I think rather than paying silly money for like about 80 to 90 million, it would be better to actually go in for players like this, because it would be, I would say, rather than a signing like Ahmad, it would be more like a signing like Malacia,
Well,
because
I was just about to mention that then. Like the
yeah,
reason with the Eredivisie, usually I'm skeptical about signing players from over there, right? But you've seen the impacts that Malacia has had, and that was a player that Ten Hag saw in the Eredivisie, brought over for a decent price, and everyone's already talked about him taking Luke Shaw's spot. So why couldn't Gakpo do the same and take? I know
yeah,
Rashford played well last night, got his goal, but why can't Gakpo have a similar impact, right?
yeah. And with Rashford, I would still say it's just one game, just one game.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
not been at the
We've seen him have
races
good
for,
games before, innit?
yeah. We don't want a situation where again Rashford goes into a slump of 10 to 15 games, performs in one game, and completely drifts off in the next 10 to 15 games again.
Yeah.
We do need consistency, and if we sign in a player like Gakpo, I think, who could actually give competition to him, it would be good, because right now we're actually in a position where we can't really drop Rashford, because we haven't really got the alternatives. You can't play Elanga. It is a fact, you can't play Elanga in that front three right now. So yeah, we
Exactly.
definitely look at him.
Competition breeds success. I'll always stand by that. Absolutely. And Adam, you mentioned Kevin Trapp there just when you were speaking before. I'm glad you mentioned him because that was the next story I wanted to touch on. This is coming from Sport in Germany, and it says Justin, United are offering Kevin Trapp an annual salary of around 10 to 11 million euros. He could even become their first choice goalkeeper and replace David De Gea. Frankfurt haven't received an offer yet. David De Gea has kind of been a reoccurring topic on this channel, many different opinions regarding him. But do you think he is the keeper to lead us into the Ten Hag era, Adam? Like, hand on heart, looking at it, do you believe the next 2-3 years he should be our goalkeeper?
Tough one to say. It's just like they've identified this player kind of last minute, and they're like, okay, we'll go get him. I think there was a rumor fee 10 million. I think I remember reading a wee while ago. I've heard people say he's kind of similar to De Gea in the sense that he's a good shot stopper, but he's not necessarily great with his feet and passing. And that's kind of what we're looking for. So is he the sort of player? I don't think so, but you're thinking about like if we were to let De Gea go, like it obviously clears a chunk off the wage and we get a fee for him, but maybe he could bring it. We could bring in someone else then. I really, really like the Brighton keeper. I think he's a really, really good passer of the ball, decent shot stopper. He's a tall lad. He collects the ball really well, so I'd be going out for him. But if you're to target him this year, especially now, Brighton would probably say 50 million, and he's
Yeah.
yours then. Yeah,
Well,
that's the
they
thing.
got
So
110 mil for Cucurella and Ben White, didn't they? So
yeah, there you go. So they probably asked for similar prices for the keeper as well. I think his name's Sanchez, isn't it? I think it
yeah,
could be.
yeah.
Yeah, but why not let his contract go down a year? Like sign someone to compete with De Gea to get kind of the best out of him. I'm just annoyed that we let someone like Romero go, who was a decent
Yeah.
backup keeper.
Yeah,
That made no sense to me that whatsoever, because he was the perfect number 2. He was happy being number 2, which is a thing in itself. Like, he was okay to play Europa League games, stuff like that. He always put in a good performance. He was humble up until what they did with him to the end, like with his contract. It just made no sense when we saw. I was just like, why are we letting him go? I don't get it. And then we brought in Tom Heaton. It's just, made no sense whatsoever. But just
We
on
do
that,
need a keeper, though. We
we
do need another.
do 100%, and we need a keeper to compete with De Gea, because again, it goes back to the thing of competition breeds success. You need someone who's knocking on De Gea's door and be like, "I'll take your spot, mate," because Tom Heaton ain't doing that. Tom Heaton's probably cleaning his boots before the game and making sure his jersey's ironed and shit. So, yeah, he needs competition in that position, 100%. Shreyas, we saw what Pep did with Joe Hart when he first came in. He was just like, had a few games with him. He was like, he can't play in my system. Do you think there's potential for Ten Hag could do the same with De Gea, do you think?
I think there definitely is an uncertainty right now. But still, if I have to talk about it, I would still say, for me, the goalkeeper position would be the last thing that I would actually want to rectify in this window itself. I think there are other positions right now which need more care, and they need more looking into right now. If you have to look into the squad, like a central midfielder is right now much more needed. A winger is right now much more needed. After that, a striker is actually needed as well. And then you've actually, have to have a conversation about getting a centre back in as well, because Bailly is gone. And I would say, once you've eliminated all the question marks in those areas, that's when I will actually move into the goalkeeper area. Because if you actually see the first 3 games, he had a stinker of a performance against Brentford, but he played well
I
against
don't want to
Liverpool.
put in Shreyas, but after that Brentford game, I think it has kind of pushed up the priority list, because he single-handedly cost us that game, and it will cost us points down the line as well. It's already cost us points now. What if we finish even a point off top 4 now later in the season? It could come down to that one game.
I think it could, but once again, it could. If I have to, actually say, De Gea last season, De Gea was one of the reasons why we are pretty much right now in Europa League football in the first place. If he wouldn't have been there, we would pretty much be, not even in the Conference League right now. Secondly, in the first 3 games, he did have a really, really bad performance against Brentford, no doubt about it. But it was good to see that, he actually claimed responsibility for it, rather than other players actually, just going out into just moving out of the stadium. He actually took responsibility for it. I still see him being one of the best shot stoppers when it comes to world football. And I think once in a while, a player sometimes might drop. We've seen it happening with Ederson as well at Manchester City. He has had some stinker performances as well. One of them being against us before the pandemic started, when we beat Manchester City 2-0. He had a shocking performance in that game. So I think even Alisson, when the season we finished second, Alisson didn't really have a good season. He had a really, really bad season as well. So I think with De Gea, I still see. I don't see him being one of the sweeper keepers, but I still see, when it comes to the distribution, when it comes to his throwing ability, I think he still got it. And we all know his shot stopping ability is by far the best when it comes to the top 6 sides. So for me, it would be the last positions that I would actually personally want to rectify. But once again, if Ten Hag wants to actually rectify it first and foremost, then there doesn't need to be a conversation about it, because we definitely need to back the manager, because right now he's seeing things that we aren't. So just back the manager. If he wants to change the keeper, it's practically his choice.
I think it was easier for Pep because he went in and he already had quite a lot of decent players. Sterling was already there, De Bruyne was already there. He already had kind of world-class players in his team. So it's easier for him to come in and be like, right, we'll address the keeper issue, we'll address this, whatever. Obviously, Ten Hag coming in now, you're like, well, we need a right back, we need a centre back, we need a midfielder, we need a winger, and we need a striker. So, I'm sorry, but the keeper's just got to wait for the moment. But I believe if we had decent players already in them positions, he would definitely be looking at the De Gea thing, and he'd go out all out for a keeper who would fit his kind of regime a bit more. That's just my personal opinion.
Nick,
just before cutting in, loads of comments in the chat. Our players ran to their last bit of gas only to avoid running the difference in the miles for the opponent. Ten Hag fear factor. If we were in for a goalkeeper, why didn't we bid for Nick Pope? Andre Lunin from Real Madrid as a backup goalkeeper. Young, good, but will cost a lot because Real Madrid think he is a starter.
Yeah.
De Gea isn't going to get replaced in this window. It's 100% a next year job. We'll play long ball this year, plainly down to the fact that he can't really pass. Sir Jim will be the best signing. Goalkeeper should be our last priority. We need a centre back, right back, left or a right winger, centre forward, striker, ASAP. That being said, we'll probably sign a backup goalkeeper because we can't really function with Tom Heaton. Is dancing? Is there any goalkeeper available who can make saves like they and can be good in distribution as well?
Well, that's the big question, isn't it? Subscribe to the channel, guys, as well. Anyone who's new
Yeah,
to the channel, currently
we're up
watching
to
right now,
445. We're up to 445. Just
love
5
that.
subs away for
Oh.
450. If we
Yeah.
do, yeah, Nick is getting ready already. Please
I'll crack
let
that
Nick
out
drink.
if we do. Yeah, let me drink. I need it. Sorry, Adam. Continue with your point about the keeper there.
Yeah, just about the goalkeeper. Pep signed Bravo then from Barca, didn't work out, and
Yeah.
he obviously signed Ederson then. The reason we are in such a mess is because down to our owners. When a player hasn't worked out, we don't cut our losses and let them go, and then sign someone that the manager actually wants. We hold on to that player. Give them extensions and drag it out, and that's why we're in this reason, and that's down to our owners as well. Yes, the club has spent money; they haven't spent money, but they're penny pinching too. They're holding on to players who haven't worked out for other managers in the past, and now we're kind of left with them. Now we're left with the deadwood. But I think we're kind of moving on from that now. We are kind of adapting, but we'll see if a certain signing doesn't work out. Are we going to let them go? Or are we going to hold on to them now? So
Yeah.
that's going to be the next thing to kind of observe over the next 2-3 years.
Absolutely. I just don't. For me, I don't see David Hay as a modern keeper like the way we see
Mhm.
these sweeper keepers and stuff at the minute. Your Allisons, your Edisons, these kind of guys. I just don't see it in De Gea. I don't think he's got the ability to do it. He claims that he has. He's, people who train with him claims that he can do it in training. But from what I've seen, someone picked out. I don't know if it was you, Adam, or Sam on the review last night, that he kept playing the same pass onto the left side of midfield
Yeah.
every time, and he kept giving it back to Liverpool. He's got no variety in his distribution. It's not just he can't. What's the word I'm looking for? He can't. What's the word? Convict. He hasn't got no conviction in his
Mhm.
distribution. It's not even just that. It's the variety of it as well. It's just going left and either going out for a throw in or going back to Liverpool. So look, there's no reason to say why he definitely can't improve on that.
Mhm.
Who knows? But from what I've seen so far, I ain't impressed with his distribution at all.
You made a good point there. He's a victim of the game modernizing, and I think Juan Mata was the same for that
Yeah.
number 10 role. The game does change. Different forms of play pop up. We've seen it, especially now in the recent, like the last probably 6-7 years. Like the game's modernized a lot. We saw it like I think the start of the whole goalkeeper change was with Manuel Neuer. I think he kind
Definitely.
of changed
Yeah.
it, modernized it even more. That sweeper keeper, good distribution, the last kind of defender in the team almost. And De Gea hasn't really done that. While you see the likes of Alisson, Ederson all doing that now. So he's a victim of the game modernizing, and can it be coached in this late into the career? We don't know. We got to wait and see. But talked about a goalkeeper definitely coming in. Obviously,
Yeah.
Ten Hag doesn't feel he can fully do it then, so he wants someone to compete with him.
100%. And I think when you go back to like the way modern football's played now tactically, if you was just to look at 11 players on the pitch, just imagine in your head now you've got them all basically flat and you've got a nice gap in between them. But obviously the way Klopp, Pep, all these kind of managers, they push them right up. So you've got all your strikers more up, midfielders more up, defense more up. The keeper has to come up to like his 18-yard box, especially when you're playing a high line, to be ready for them balls in behind to clear it. And De Gea does not fill me with confidence when he's in that position in the slightest. Really doesn't. So someone like Kevin Trapp, though, doesn't, again, fill me with confidence. I was looking at his stats before. He's conceded 10 goals in the last 4 games. He's
Yeah.
He's 32 years old. And that would be more of a number 2. He's not someone who's going to compete with De Gea, in my personal opinion. So I ain't a fan of the signing. I'm not sure if you are, judging from what you said. I don't think you are. Sure that his other keepers. I liked Jan Sommer from is it McGladbach in Bundesliga? I like,
Yeah.
the Swiss keeper. Someone like him, I'd be like, oh, okay, he can compete with De Gea. But Trapp's conceded 10 goals, like I just said, then 10 goals last 4 games, where it's like, yeah, it's don't make sense to me that signing. But yeah, let's move on into the last story of the night, guys. Are you ready for this one? I'm not sure about the source. The source is ex West Ham United employee. That's the name. Yeah. But he's got 120k followers. Romano's following him. David Ornstein's following him. I'm not saying just because he's got a big following, they're credible, but it's a transfer show. I have to take the news as it comes.
I wonder who he worked for.
Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, West Ham are interested in signing Scott McTominay on loan if he is made available. Do you think this is a case of Shreya's cheering that there? Do you think this is a case of style of player with style of club? Someone's put two and two together. You've got McTominay, tough, great attitude, works hard, not necessarily the best quality, but West Ham seems to be always associated with that kind of player. No disrespect to the likes of Mark Noble and other people who played there, but it's similar vein in my personal opinion. Do you think some journalists has looked at him and went two and two together? United might want to sell him. The fans want him out. West Ham want to sign a midfielder. Think it's the case of that, Adam?
I think the talk only came really after we signed Casemiro because McTominay's spot is then in danger. So it's all reaction to what's currently going on now at the club. I don't think there's any truth in this, sadly. But we gotta wait to see anyway. Like anything can happen on deadline day. Unexpected moves. We've seen. I think there was one time Autumn Wingy ended up going up to. What was this?
It was either QPR or who was it? I think or he either played for QPR and he was going to Stoke or somewhere, and he got pulled in his and he was like, "Yeah, you can't sign me." He pulled up. He was just like, "You're not signing." He's like, "All right, okay."
Yeah, and then there was stories about when we were going to sign Ander Herrera, there was fake lawyers sent and everything. Like deadline day can be crazy, so you never know. Maybe they could go for him last minute and identify, okay, we actually should go for him. But if you look at their midfield, do they need him? Did they need him when they?
Well better. Suchek and Rice is so much better.
So why do they need that guy? So for me, I think it's more tabloid kind of bullshit. If I'm being honest, it's just reactionary from the Casemiro kind of deal.
Yeah, it's like they've gone in the board. Do you want someone like a Declan Rice who doesn't have the qualities of Declan Rice, just the attitude and the mentality? And they're like, all right, we'll go sign him. How much do you think McTominay's worth in this market, Shreyas? If you was to put a price on him,
25 million. Yeah, because he's still young. Once again, he's basically coming off from Manchester United as well. And going in from a top 6 sides does get you that additional 5 million, I would say. And considering he's still young, that's another 5 to 10 million. So we sold Dan James for about 20-25 million to Leeds. So, and that was a player who didn't even play that much for us. By the time he left, McTominay has, when it comes to his fitness, I would say McTominay is one of the best guys to have at your club because he's going to play week in and week out. His fitness levels are really, really good. So I think you can easily get 20 to 25 million for him. And I think whatever we get for him is a big, big profit for us. Because any club right now who's willing to take this player off us, I think it is going to be a boon for us because that opens up opportunities for players like Donny to actually come in who can actually contribute to the squad as well. Because I don't think right now McTominay is offering us something completely unique rather than, 2 passes per half.
Yeah, maybe McTominay's in the wrong sport. I feel like he should be in the triathlons or some shit because he has got great fitness levels, but his football technique is terrible. Absolutely
I think
terrible.
he can get more from. Genuinely, I think he can get. Yeah, I think he can get 35.
You're not telling me 35 to 40 million for McTominay.
Yeah, the fact that he's consistently in our team, people seem to be sniffing around and somewhat interested. So I think we could get. You can call me deluded or whatever, but I think we need to start pulling other clubs' pants down and actually smacking them on the arse for once.
Yeah.
So I know that's a weird analogy, but it'd be one that I do. Yeah, please do it to the likes of West Ham, Everton, even like give it to Arsenal at a discounted price. Give it for this Shreyas' price. Let him go there. He's quality.
Yeah, you were doing a great job at pitching McTominay to other teams there, Adam, I must say. Yeah, if we can get that amount of money for him, I'd be absolutely buzzing. I'd go buy Tillemans personally, but I don't see us getting that amount. I know Wolves. Is it Wolves who just paid? Not Wolves. Nottingham Forest paid 45 mil
Nottingham
for that kid,
Forest.
right? Didn't they?
Yeah.
So you never fucking know. Like McTominay, you could, but if we got that money, I would be fucking astonished. I would be astonished. I would give, if we got 40 to 50 mil for McTominay, let's say, I'll give myself a skinhead on Instagram Live. Because I'm positive that we will never get that money for him. But hey ho, let's see what happens. So yeah, that's your roundup complete, guys. Thank you everyone in the chat for getting involved. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do and drop a like on the video. I'm not sure how many subs we're on at the minute, but I'll
We
probably
are
do
on 447, so just three.
3 off.
Yeah.
Cool.
Many people in the comment section saying before McTominay, please sell Maguire first. Please sell Maguire.
Yeah.
2 for 1 deal.
McTominay contract. I would keep McTominay for the more physical opponents. Dan saying 3 more and Nick is gonna run like Daniel James on the streets with a drink in his hand. I don't think McTominay will be sold because Ten Hag does not have any other CDM apart from Casemiro. Let's see what happens. Adam promoting McTominay sale. If Maguire leaves, McTominay could be the backup defender.
Yeah. Just use discount code Adam wants McTominay out on the sale.
Yeah.
Just type it in. Right, that is like I said, the roundup complete, guys. Thank you to everyone in the chat getting involved. We love the interaction, keeps us going. Thank you, Adam, for joining. It's been an absolute pleasure, my friend. And thank you, Shreyas, again, you legend. We'll see you for the next one tomorrow, which is I have no idea what's on tomorrow. I cannot for the life remember. My brain's just gone completely blank. Some content will be tomorrow. We'll be live about 6:30. Yeah. That I can guarantee. What show it'll be, who knows at this point. We'll see you tomorrow.
But something will definitely happen. Hopefully it's a sign.
Oh yeah.
So we'll be on there.
Some will be going live in the next couple of days because there's so many deals going on. These next 2 weeks are going to be mental. So turn on that notification bell so you don't miss a single show when we go live. 6:30 is usual time. We'll see you in the next one, guys. Thank you, everyone. Peace. Take care.